All right. So it's 10:35. I'm mindful of everyone's time. I know we have more registrations, but let me just get started. We are also recording the session, so hopefully it can be shared with any new guests. Today in this session, we are going to discuss about a couple of Canvas tools that can help you with your classes. Now, please understand that Canvas has hundreds and thousands of tools integrated. We cannot cover everything in one session, but I have handpicked a few which I have got review and responses over the last 1 year that they have been really helpful for faculty. So I have picked those. One of these tools is going to be a custom AU tool, meaning it has been developed inside AU on the responses and feedback received from faculty members like yourself. So I'm going to highlight those for you. And if you know of other tools, of course, like I said, there can be many. If you have anything specific needed for your classes, we can discuss it on a one-on-one. I'm just going to give a very general overview of these tools that we're going to discuss today. Also, I don't think I'll need the entire session because these are tools we're going to discuss the features. It might not need the time. So feel free to use those extra time for yourself and unwind, because I know a lot of workshops are going on. I know all of you are busy, and also it's the beginning of fall, which is really, really crazy. So with that, let me start first by showing you how to integrate American University's calendar in your Canvas calendar. Why it's important? Because AU calendar is updated by me. I update it at the very beginning of the year, and then it goes on through the entire year and then the academic year. The reason it's important to integrate in your Canvas calendar is because you can see all the important dates integrated in one place. You don't have to go to multiple calendars. And also based on that, you can make changes in your syllabus. So if you have a due date, for example, on a holiday, you can change it a little bit. You don't have to think about, oh, did I think about the dates coming up, or did I think about what are the important final break dates, or all of those things? So you don't need to worry about that. You can see everything in one place within your Canvas calendar. So to integrate the American University calendar, first go to calendar from your global navigation menu, which is the blue bar. That's called the global navigation menu because it's not tied to one single course. It's tied to your overall Canvas account. That's why it's called global navigation menu. All the menu options that you find inside a course, meaning after you click a course style and you go inside, that's your course navigation menu. So just to clear that confusion. So once you are in the calendar area, if you look towards your right-hand side, there is a little option called Other Calendars. And beside that, there is a little plus button. If you go to the little plus button, you will see there are two calendars. One is, like I mentioned, American University calendar. Another is the SPA calendar. You can ignore that if you're not part of SPA. Just enable the AU calendar and click on Save Changes. Once you do that, you see all the important dates as per the AU calendar has been enabled. So that includes what are the dates for the holidays. For example, Labor Day is coming up. Welcome Week is next week. And then if I scroll to November, because I know November has a couple of holidays. So yeah, fall break is on 10th, and then this is the last day for to apply for fall graduation. So all those important dates are automatically integrated in your calendar in one place. And this is not, again, specific to any one course. You can see in this area under calendars, you will see all the courses that you are teaching and all the calendars related to those courses. But AU's calendar is general, universal. It's tied to your account overall. So that was my first feature description. Any question or any confusion in how you can integrate the AU calendar? I guess not, right? Pretty straightforward. Okay, perfect. The next thing is not really a tool, but more like a feature, and that can be needed for assignments. So let me go to one of my sandbox courses. I'm within my course, and now I will go to, let's see, grades. Sometimes it happens that you have an assignment which has a text entry or a file upload option. Students have uploaded their file, but you discovered that maybe they have uploaded a wrong file or a corrupt file. It happens many a times. And maybe the due date has already passed. Now, when you are starting to, grade it, you notice this problem. You can do two things. Either open that assignment up again for the student. For that, you have to assign that assignment to that student for a different date. You can do that. Or there is a feature called Submit for Students that instructors can use to submit that one or two special case assignments. For that, you don't have to open the assignment again. It kind of cuts on some of your work a little bit and makes it easier. All you need to do is ask that student to send you their assignment, whatever the doc is. It can be a doc, can be a PDF. They email you and you can upload it on their behalf. What it does is you may ask, even they can upload, right? But like I say, for that, you have to reopen the assignment for the student so that they are able to upload it. Instead of doing that, you can ask for the file and upload it yourself. So for that, I have come to the grades area. Let's say Zach is my student. Basically, he's my colleague, but Zach is my student. I can see he has submitted, but like I mentioned, it's a wrong submission for whatever reason. I will click on his submission, go to this little arrow, which indicates towards the right. And here, the side panel opens up. Now, this side panel is very, very important, not just for the feature that we're discussing right now, but even for going to SpeedGrader, which is the place where you see the submission, where you can add your annotations, your feedback, all of those things. But this is also the place where you will find Submit for Student option. Once you go there, this basically asks you to submit on behalf of the student, the file that you have already got. Now, after you have submitted on behalf of the student, what Canvas does is it shows two or multiple submissions. The first one will be, of course, the student with the timestamp. The second one will say your name as the faculty. So you know that the submission was made by you, not the student. And also it will say faculty name on behalf of XYZ student name and the timestamp. So that way you know who submitted what and at what time. So that makes the difference. Hello. What's it still wrong? I know, it can be confusing. Welcome. So yeah, that's Submit for Student option. I have seen it very important in some places where students use Mac computer, they use Mac specific docs, and those gets corrupted after uploading, being uploaded on Canvas. And faculty is like, I cannot open it one more time because now I am grading. What can I do? This is one way. This is also important. You may ask that, what if they just send me the file? I could just check it on my end. Why do I need to upload it on Canvas? You can do it for Turnitin purposes. So if you're running your assignments, your student's assignment through Turnitin, plagiarism review, you cannot do it if you have just a physical copy sent through email. If you upload it in Canvas in this manner, you can rerun that correct file through Turnitin and do the review if you need to. Any questions? So since you just joined us, we are discussing the second feature. After the session, if I have time, I can take you through the first two again. That would be great. Thank you. First. Any questions? All right. Now let's move on to the third one, photo roster tool. You have already seen it. Some of you have attended some of my previous workshops, so you may know about it already. But I still wanted to highlight it here in this particular session because I think photo roster is a great tool. At the very beginning, I mentioned that I will be discussing a tool custom made by AU. This is the tool I just read for you. This came through Faculty Senate advices. So we have developed it based on those feedback. What is photo roster? Photo roster is basically the roster of your class, as the name suggests. but with the picture of the students. And when I say picture, these are the official AU picture. Whatever is there on their AU IT is on the photo roster, because these sheet systems are synced through SharePoint on our end, on the back end. That's why it's very, very important. It's very helpful because instructors can see the roster online on their end with pictures. So before the first day of the class, or even the first week of the class, or even before add drop, when a lot of shuffling is happening, you can familiarize yourself with your class, especially if it's a big class. If you have 30, 35 students, sometimes it gets really difficult to remember everyone, or just to familiarize yourself with all the students. That's where photo roster team comes really handy. You can see their faces, you can know their name, you know which school they are affiliated with and when they are graduating, all this information. Now, you may have seen in Canvas, in the people area, there is an option of uploading picture. How is it different from photo roster? Well, the Canvas picture can be uploaded by the students themselves. So if they think they can upload a picture of their pet, they can upload the picture of anything, literally a chair, whatever they feel like. That's not really an identification of the student. That can be really confusing. Also, the thumbnail inside Canvas of people area, and I'll show you in just a bit, is really, really tiny. I mean, I can't see it myself. I have to really enlarge my screen to see those pictures and then understand that it's a human picture. So that's where also photo roster makes the difference, because photo roster pictures are square, passport size picture size, basically. So that's where this tool is really important. Now, what I'm going to show you in my screen is not going to be a real photo roster, because I'm not an instructor. So I don't have access to any of the rosters. But if any of you are trying it out right now, I would say follow the steps, see if you can see your roster, okay? So to access photo roster, go to account. And right here is the photo roster tool. Click on that. It opens in a new tab. It asks you to open in a new tab. Click on that. Now, like I said, since I'm not an instructor, it's a blank screen for me. But on your end, you should see your sections. Can I get a nod or a yes if you can see? Perfect, perfect, perfect. Okay, so here, and again, also discretion matters. So thank God I don't have any real roster, because I didn't want to show any of the student details. So on your end, you can see and confirm if you can see the pictures. Yes, perfect. The graduation year, the affiliation school, so COGAD, SIS, SOC, all of those details. Excellent, excellent. I see a lot of nods. Thank you so much. And now, test it out by going to the people section. Let me go back to my course again. Now let's go to people. So inside your course, if you can go to the people area, these are the thumbnails I was referring to. Many of them will be blank, because like I said, this is accessible for the students, for you, all of us. As users, we can upload whatever picture we want inside Canvas. But photo roster images cannot be changed randomly by students. It's the AU picture. Only if they change by going to the one card office, only then the photo roster pictures will be changed. Otherwise, it won't be changed ever. Does that make sense? Perfect. Any questions with photo roster access? Also, those of you, yeah.
Just be printed out.
Yes. So there is no direct way, but the workaround is if you are using Dell like me. So the Control P, it takes you to the printer option, just print out. It will be multiple pages. The formatting will be a little messed up because it's not the right printing method, but I have seen it works great. So yeah. Any other questions? Also, one other thing, if you are not able to test it out right now, and if you see that you can't access photo roster, that may be because you are a new instructor, your access was just created on the OIT site, that's why. So give it some time. because for the photo roster access, like you can see on my screen, I don't have access. So you need to be an instructor. So all those system things are going on the back end. So give it some time. Once all of those are settled, you should automatically have photo roster access of your class. If not, write to us. I have some printouts with our contacts in the front table. Feel free to grab one when you go out. Any other question? Okay, perfect. Now let's move on to the fourth tool of this session, NameCoach. And do you have any idea what NameCoach is? Have you ever used it? Okay, I see nods. Okay, perfect. For those who will be using it absolutely for the very first time, NameCoach tool is a tool for recording the right pronunciation of your names. If you have a lot of international students, mainly it's a really, really great tool. Because many a times, maybe it's a Mandarin or an Indian name, we don't know the right pronunciation, and it may, make a difference. So that's where you can have this tool enabled in your courses and ask the students to pronounce the right pronunciation of their names. You can also do it yourself as instructors, and that way even the students will know how to pronounce your name correctly. Also, they can do it once and that's it. Whatever classes they are taking, it will be integrated in all their classes. And that goes for you too. So whatever classes you will be teaching now or in future at AU, it's all synced at once. Yes.
Rachel, a quick question. So when I recorded mine, it's my voice. But when I listen to theirs, it's the same kind of AI generated.
No, I'll show you. That's a new feature they have brought in. It was not there in the past. Give me 1 second. So from your course, you will go to NameCoach.
Yep.
And this is a new feature they have added where AI generated pronunciations are getting integrated. However, if you see a name has just an exclamation, that means it only has the AI generated name. They haven't recorded themselves. The ones that has this check means they have recorded their names themselves. So let me show you mine.
So I'm the only one who has a check.
Yes.
That explains it.
Yeah, absolutely. So you see, this is my name with a check. This says that I have recorded my name. And let's see. Shilpa Dasgupta. Maybe the audio is. Shilpa. Maybe it's Dasgupta audio. It's not working. But basically, whatever the check, wherever you can see the check, it means that that person themselves have recorded the name in person. But if you see an exclamation, it means the AI generated name. What you can do is, if you want all your students to record their names, you can, number one, simply ask them to go to NameCoach and record their names. That's the straightforward way. However, you can also send them email right from the NameCoach app, asking them like a reminder that, hey, you haven't recorded your name. Why don't you go ahead and do it? Now, this is not mandatory, of course. This is just a great tool for familiarizing yourself with any student, not just international student, but anybody, and also them with you. So I find it really helpful and it's a fun tool as well. So you can use it and you can leverage all the communication option that it offers from within the tool. It's a very straightforward tool, not too many fancy items in there. Just you can record yourself. If not, remind the students to do so. Any questions? Okay, perfect. Now, let's come to some of the tools that will help students directly with their learning journey. First off, I will show you how to integrate our library resources, the LibGuides, in your courses. For that, let me go to modules. And within modules, let's say I am teaching American studies. For that, I want to integrate some of my American study LibGuides. To do so, I have come to modules. Let's say I'll use the first module. I already have this. I will go to the little plus sign right here. From this little plus sign, the default will always be assignment, but from the drop down, you can go to other options. I will go to external tools. Under external tools, if you scroll down, you should find LibShare. Let me see where it is. Here you go. You will find LibApps library content. LibApps library content. So that's your LibGuide resource. You click on LibApps library content, and here you go. All the subject guides and all those resources will open up. So the default is subject guide. If you scroll on it, basically it has nothing but just this option. So be it. The second option is content type. This is where you will start doing your selection. So under content type, and let me scroll down just a little bit so that you can see. Under content type, I have a ton of different options. I have full LibGuide, single page, content box, A to Z databases for specific subject and subject specialists. So let me stop there and select this option. Database for specific subject. Plus, I also want to see who is my subject specialist in the library. So let me select that. And then from the final selection, which is my subject, I said, let's assume I'm teaching American Studies. So I will select American Studies here. And here you go. I have selected what kind of content I want. I have selected my subject, and then I will embed my content. Once I have embedded it, I will click on Add Item. Before that, you can also confirm what you have embedded. Basically, you can see and confirm the URL here. And you can also see what's the name of the page. You can change it. I have American Studies, which is the default one. I can give my name maybe or something else, and then click on Add Item. Now I have American Studies with my name in my module. If I click on it, it's a bad URL. Let me select another one.
I think not for the education one.
Okay, then probably I'll need to open a help desk ticket because some way the LibGuide is not working.
And I tried to do it. It's a pretty print. And that
Okay.
gibberish.
Okay. I after this session, I'll just go ahead and open a help desk ticket for that. But let me try with something else as well. So now we know that the American Studies and the education one is not working, but let me see if there's something else works. So let me just go to A to Z database and see if that works. No. So maybe for some reason this app is down right now. I will open a ticket. I will also check with the vendor themselves to see what's going on there, because even the A to Z guides are not working, which is basically nothing specific, but any guide in general. All right. Let me move on to the next one, which is Course Reserve. Now, this is not a new tool or a feature at all. This is an old one. However, over the years, while doing these workshops, I have come to know that not very many faculty know how to integrate Course Reserve in their courses, number one. Number two, not very many faculty know that you can actually do this to Canvas. They think that you have to email the Course Reserve, they will reach out to you and do those. You don't need to do so many things. Before your classes start, you can simply go to your Canvas course. Course Reserve is already integrated in Canvas, so you can go to Course Reserve. From here, you can go to Add Reserve Item. And from the Add Reserve Item, this window opens up from where you can select what content you're trying to add to your course. So let's say I have a book that I want from the Course Reserve. I will select there. I will give all the book details, the title, author, if I know the publication year or which publication year, basically, and whatever notes you want to give, all those notes. And then you can tell them if you will need this item in the very first month of your instruction. If yes, please check that box because they will escalate that and process those requests before anything else. Once you have done that, make sure you click on the Submit Item button. Once you have submitted that item, Course Reserve will evaluate your request. Initially, it will show processing item on your end on Canvas. Once that processed, you will get an email. It's an automated Course Reserve email confirming that it has been approved and added to your Canvas course. Once it has been added, rest is really simple. All you need to do is ask your students to come to Course Reserve, and the book or the chapter or the video file is right there under one tab. All they need to do is click on it and they can see or read the item. Any question? Have you yet?
Under course research, suppose for instance, I tend to use a couple of books that number of articles. Would those reserves mean that they are inaccessible to the rest of the library users, or will they just online file?
It'll be an online file.
Yes.
And let me go back just a little bit, just to show that these are all the items that you can request from the library. So it can be an article, book, chapter, it can be a media file or an audio file. So the options are huge. Even before suggesting to purchase or, trying out different other resources, I highly, highly recommend try out the Course Reserve. If it's already in the library, you don't need to take the hassle. You don't need to go to the Course Reserve or email them directly. Just make the request through Canvas. Eventually, it goes together. My colleagues in the library, they're great and they're super fast in processing this request. So highly recommend using and leveraging this resource. And finally, really new, I would say newest tool in Canvas has been introduced, I think, a couple months back, is the Smart Search. You can ignore the simple search, that's an admin feature, but Smart Search is something which you will find on all your Canvas courses. If you go to Smart Search, basically, if, let's say, if someone is teaching a course, a history course, or an anthropology course, which has a lot of content in it, students can use the Smart Search, and even you can use the Smart Search to search your content with keywords. Sometimes it becomes really necessary when you have uploaded a lot of files and you're trying to find something very specific. That's where the Smart Search feature comes in. It's an AI feature which has been introduced, like I said, it's quite new, I think a couple months back, and it can search items in content pages, announcements, discussions, assignment descriptions. So if you are trying to find something and you don't know where it lies within your Canvas course, use this feature. It can be helpful for you. That's all the tools I thought of including in this workshop. Like I mentioned at the very beginning, we have ton of tools inside Canvas. We have a lot of ebook tools. We have a lot of tools that's very specific, like for doing math or stats. We have a coding tools. I did not include them in this workshop because they do not cover all the courses. I only included those which I think will affect the most number of courses and will be the most useful. But if you have queries, related to a specific tool that you have found, but you want to know more, feel free to reach out to us and we will be happy to answer those questions. Also know that when it's a third-party tool, PhotoRaster is an internal tool. But if it's a third-party tool, we are not the license holders of those tools. If you need support, what we do is normally we reach out to the company and they work with you directly at us as well to resolve any of the issues. So it may take some time. But when it comes to Canvas specific issues, that's us. And we normally try to do it as fast as possible. So just a little bit of there. Any questions? Yes.
people might find solved too. And that's how we do it. Like that. If we don't like the order of the menu, that is cheap.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you don't like the order of the menu, or you think there are too many features which your students may not need, what you will do is go to settings, then go to navigation. When you are in the navigation window, you will see there are two set of options, one on the top and scroll down, one below. The ones in the below are the disabled options, but still available to you as an instructor. They're just disabled. One on the top side are the enabled options. So those are the options that you currently see in your course. So let's say, like you mentioned, you don't like something. What you will do is, let me take one such option. Let's say I don't need chat in my course. I will go to the three dots and click on disable. Once I do that, it will jump to the lower set. So disable, you see it has gone somewhere below. So chat. Here you go. It's in the lower set. Once I have done that, I will click on save. Very, very, very important. The last option, you have to scroll all the way to the very bottom of the page. Sometimes it's missable. That's why I'm emphasizing on it. So let me make another change. So let's say I don't need my materials. Disable, done. Let me save it. And notice I just had chat, it's gone. I also don't have my materials anymore. And also, let me go back to navigation. Let's say you are trying to change the order of the navigation menu. All you need to do is, this burger sign is right here on the left side of these options. We call it burger. I don't know for what reason, but simply drag and drop wherever you want them to be. Let's say I want syllabus to be the first item. Home is not changeable. Home is constant, so you cannot change that option. But below that, you can change everything. So let's say the second option from top, I want it to be syllabus. So syllabus it is. Then I want my announcement, and then I want my students to see the modules. And here I go. I have reshuffled my navigation menu. Again, I'm saving it. And here you go. I have home. Ignore simple search on my screen. That's not available for you. I have syllabus, announcement, modules, just the way I want. Does that make sense?
How to get settings.
Yeah. So settings will always be the last option in your menu. That's also constant. So last option here on my screen. You go to settings. The third heading in this window is navigation. You go to navigation. This is where all those menu actions happen. Does that make sense?
Yes, software MC. Is that my course of the published yet? Or is that?
May I see?
Yeah. Okay. So basically, it's hidden on your options. So that's that hit. The application. Let's say, let me just say one. Let's say God. Let's say you watch. Is not changing that's illustration. For an illustration, let's say from students in our possible OS. So once you have said, okay, well, you want sort of me some of these just hide like what but in a session for the makes in Okay, if you don't find something here that maybe it's just the paper, we need to clean up again first. Okay. We have a cooking with a page one, but when basically this is a responsive thing, browser cookies, it should be fine. In the name, which is right there. Sorry.
All right. Any other questions?
I have another one.
Yeah.
For,
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. Well, we are almost about to wrap up. So just waiting to see if anybody has any other questions, concerns. Otherwise, we are done for this session. Yes.
I don't know if it's really local, but there was a glitch in our system, which I'm going to show you, but still don't understand how it happened.
Okay.
We have SharePoint,
Yes.
which is professors getting materials left down, really up them to the cags. And so I did this in real time. It brought a big file. And I saw it was a Word document. It was the first assignment, uploading it, etc. And then a few of us started getting requests from students for access. And so it's my first term at AU. So I get a trigger in there. I was like, wait, you're asking for access to SharePoint. So then I went to SharePoint. I looked at the usual. Oh my gosh, the student now has access to all the documents in SharePoint. So I had to remove them and explain it to him. But I asked operators, how is this possible? But it's showing the link embedded in document. So I want to go through this video because the only reason I'm saying that is imagine uploading a document from SharePoint, all of a sudden the student has, if you just click on it, take it, request the access, and then you think, okay, I'll approve because they need access to information.
Yeah.
And then I realized he had access to
Everything. Wow. Okay. Yeah, we definitely need to see that.
Yeah.
But I can work with you.
Yeah, it's all that discussion. If you get it approved.
Yes, yes. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Sorry, not to disappoint you, but we are just wrapping up the session. But I can work with you on all the tools and that's sorry for the. All right. Any other questions? I know you have a question. Yeah, you can ask it. Yeah.
I have another question.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Just in the grade book, it kind of gives me these columns at the end, like average of assignments, saying, all that kind of stuff. And sometimes that's easy for students. Is there any way to delete this?
Okay. Can I take a note?
Sure.
Yes.
Sam.
Yes. Should we watch it? So what you really see in the grades area is a bit of a site. So the rest now, what you're seeing is you have so many groups that you only don't have the point percentage, but you still have these groups. So you have one group for it's equal just three. So what you saw in it is like average of those big groups. The each and the top that is it's a human bias because of each groups. Probably the great what related percentage they would cost. For that, if you like pushing for dots, it out here. That would be good. But I'm just taking that would like say as it or it goes like a kilo. So of course. So here you need what's specific the final results, right? Out of 75 out of 40. But if you scroll, you see each tree which we're talking about shows first of the bit. So whatever is under that group
it adds up and then it means that percentage was well.
Now that total actually like first.
Exactly. You don't use it. Anything cards. It actually never let you. What's when you reach about 3 that hit the final time, that's good. It comes out you need to follow the act. And then it the final was that's why it's the speaking type. It's on what was.
Oh, it's talking about
These percentages that was also if you want to absolutely make sure you will this page will create also policy by default it's automatic make it right. That will basically wipe the cost and then you come up with all it was that cost. You create any document in your reading you are down and you don't want high focus you see absolutely. That's where these checks are added. If I'm public, if that's hidden by default, and the important shit from the rest. I would advise if you make it helpful, put up manual stick and then you click on the level. That's where you finally put something but go back to course of changing. If you take the outright all of percentage with bubble, it models in check more than possible or updated. So we can have all the items in general without them to the one. That's also.
all right. Thank you.
All right. If we don't have any questions, feel free to stay in the room and do whatever you want to. I'm going to take some of the specific questions and then I can show you the first two features. So let me start with you and both of you just go over the tools. For you, it will be shorter. Yeah, the first two. And then I can come to you, add you shorter questions. Does that make sense? Okay, just either way. All right. So what we discussed at the very beginning was the American University calendar and how to integrate that in your Canvas calendar. For that, you need to go to calendar. And please remember that Canvas calendar is not specific to one course, but it's in general, your overall Canvas calendar. Once you are in the space, you will see all the courses that you are teaching or have taught in the past, and you can see all those calendars. But what we were discussing in this session is how to enable this American University calendar. Let me cross it out so that I can show you again. You have an option called Other Calendars. Beside that, go to the plus button. And from here, you have two default school calendars, AU and SPA. Ignore the SPA if you're not part of it. Enable the AU calendar, save changes. Now you have all the important AU calendar events already integrated in your Canvas calendar. So let me go to November. So let's say in November, we have when is the last day to apply for fall. So sometimes students even ask those questions to you as instructors, like, do you know when can I apply for fall graduation? Do you have the date? And maybe the answer normally is, why don't you check the calendar? But in this case, since it's already part of the Canvas, you don't even have to say anything. You can say, check the Canvas calendar. I have integrated it already. So you can check it on your end. You can see all the important, let me find some dates, all the important holidays. So I'm in November. We already have the Thanksgiving break integrated in the AU calendar and so on and so forth. So basically all the big events as per the general AU calendar is part of this. So I find it very, very helpful when we have everything in one place and we don't have to go to another calendar space and find those information. So this is the way you can enable it in your end. Any questions? Okay. And the second option that we discussed was submit for student option. For that, let me go to one of the courses. Now, comes really handy when you have a text entry or a file upload kind of an assignment. So let's say you have a student who has uploaded their assignment, but maybe it's a corrupt file or a wrong file. I have seen this happening when students use Mac computer and the Mac version of Word doc. Files sometimes get corrupted. I think it's called Pages or something in Mac. I don't use a Mac, so I'm not very aware with the nomenclature, but something equivalent of Word doc on Mac. Those are good. They do the job, of course, but when uploaded and used from another system, sometimes they get corrupted for one reason or the other. That's when maybe you find it out when you have started grading, which is much later, maybe. The time has passed when you want to ask them again for re-uploading. Maybe they will take in more time than you to find out how to do that. And also you have to reopen the assignment for just that one or two students for them to be able to submit it. So all these things are there. Instead of that, what you can do is just tell the student to share that file or document or PDF with you, and then you upload it on their behalf. Problem solved. You don't have to reopen that assignment again for that one student, and you can still upload it in Canvas. If you want to run it through Turnitin for the plagiarism review, you can do that as well. So to do that, you will go to Grades. And like I said, it has its limitations. It can be only done for file upload type of assignment, not for quizzes or any other type of assignment or discussion. So let's say I have this student who submitted an assignment which is corrupt. And I can see that with this little notebook sign, I know that this student tried to submit. So I'll go to the submission, click on this little side arrow, and here we will find the Submit for Student option. Once you click on that, it's simple. It just asks you to upload a file. But after you have uploaded the file, it will show you two attempts. The first attempt obviously was made by the student, and it will always be timestamped. So first attempt made by the student with the timestamp, second attempt made by you, so it will have your name as the faculty on behalf of or for student and timestamp. So that way you can differentiate who submitted what and when at what time. This can also be done for group assignments. So let's say you had a group assignment and had this issue, you can submit on behalf of one of the members of the group. So that way, Canvas will tell you who submitted the first time, who submitted the second time, and who was that person. Okay?
Yeah, I have a cool question. So if the student got project say if I have also using will I go to the same?
I don't think so. If you do, simply tell them, because ideally it should open on their end, because that's how they were able to upload it the very first time, right? If that problem persists on your end, just tell them to copy and paste it in the body of the email and send it to you. You can again copy and paste it on a document and try to upload it. That way you can resolve that issue. I know there's a little bit of a workaround, but the reason I brought it up is because we have faced this problem in the past. And this is the route we had to follow because there was literally no other way. We just told them, send us a text in one way or the other. And copying and pasting it in the email body was the only way we could find. And then we did it on a doc and uploaded it for the
this happens if they are using Pages instead of.
Exactly. Thanks for reminding me that term. Yes, Pages. That's the one. So we have seen this with Pages. They have uploaded it, file is corrupt, and in no way the instructor can open it on their end. So yeah. Any other questions? I know you followed probably after that because we discussed photo roster. Yeah, you followed from that. But sir, for you, I can just go over the other tools. So the third tool we discussed was photo roster. Now, I was explaining that photo roster is an internal AU tool. It has been developed by AU on the responses received from the instructors. So photo roster is basically a roster where you can see the images of all the students along with all their names, basically the roster of your class. You can access it by going to Account, Photo Roster. It opens in the new tab. If you are already signed into the AU system, which obviously you will if you're accessing Canvas, you should not have trouble in accessing photo roster either. Once you are inside the photo roster, if you're teaching just one section, it will just give you that. If you're teaching multiple sections, it will tell you to choose from the whatever section you want to see the roster of. In the roster, you will find their full image, whatever image they have submitted in a one-card office, which is basically their AU's official email image, their graduation year, which school they're affiliated with, all of those details. Now, there is a place inside your Canvas course called People. You will find some of these details, not all, in there as well. So let me go to People. So you will find their name, their username, email, all of those details, but you will not find their affiliation, graduation year, all of those details. Also, most importantly, the reason this was made, it's called photo roster for that reason. The images or the photos of the students or the users in the people area is super, super tiny. And also it's customized, meaning students or users, including yourself as faculty, can upload these images. So it can be literally any image, and that makes a whole lot of difference and on how you are trying to know your students or familiarize yourself with the class. So that's why I always prefer that if you're trying to know your students, go to photo roster. Especially before the first class or in the first week or even before ad drop is over. So during that shuffle period, go to photo roster, see who are in your class. If you're a new faculty, absolutely first time at AU, you might have trouble in accessing photo roster. That's because you are still getting processed in the system on the back end. Once you are all set as an instructor, you should not have any problem in accessing photo roster because that's the way it has been set up, that it should be accessed by all instructors for all of their classes. But if you still don't have access to it, maybe 2 weeks, 3 weeks into the system, write to us. We will work with OIT to find this, what's happening, and we will fix this. Okay. The fourth one we discussed was the NameCoach app. And for that, we will go to NameCoach. Again, this is a default option in the navigation menu, so it should already be there. But if you don't have it, you can go to the settings navigation.
That has to have issues.
You still have the issue. Okay, can you open Canvas from another browser? Let's see if that browser also has the cookie issue. And while you do that, so basically inside NameCoach, what you can do is in the very beginning, if you haven't used NameCoach, this will be a clean slate with only the AI generated pronunciation of your name. Go to, I have a recording, but I can go to my edit profile. But the sidebar will open up. Go to, yes. For me, it will be record again, but for you, it will be just record. Record your name just to start off with. If you are teaching again next term or whichever term, this is going to stay. You don't have to do it multiple times. And it will sync with all your courses. And you can ask to do the same to all your students. When they do it for one class, again, they don't have to do it multiple times. It will be stored for all the classes they are taking. Do you have any questions? Okay. If you want to insist that they do record, because this is an optional tool, we don't make it mandatory. It's totally up to the wish of the students and the users if they want to do it. But it's a great tool. That much I can say. If you want to tell them or insist that they do record their name, they haven't, you can also send them notification from the tool itself. There is an email button. You can click on it. And you can send a reminder. from here. You don't have to do much. It has a default message already. You can simply click on send new reminder, see what the reminder is, and simply click on send email. And it'll send that email to your students and ask them to re-record their name. Yes. Still not working?
Right. It's so. Okay. Good. So there. Yes, it is definitely a browser. Yes, I think what it is, that's a core. It shouldn't be too much in trouble. Just wait, which is like first floor, but like very FA help you be the spot. It's just be the book. That's one. Don't want that. Yeah. So once they have done it, sit down and log in again. You'll oh, look at you. Oh, there's going to be. Can you let me check if the NameCoach is working on loading. I just want to make sure it's just a browser cookie issue, and this is normal. Many a times browser cookie issue can stop many apps, but I just want to make sure that it's working at least on some of your end.
Tony, leader.
Yeah. So yeah,
And this is the, I guess, AI.
this is AI
Jumping this for students. So
Sure.
that's the,
These are all AI generated.
look at every single one. That's choose to stay on having AI.
Yeah, because probably
No one's to that.
exactly. Yes.
So why is it my voice, but
Yeah.
No, I-
you have but this is yours, right?
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if I get a message that it's unable to launch cookies I required, I'm not focused at the IT desk because
Okay.
it's running through some problems. So
Okay.
sometimes I get this same message on my phone or just a personal computer. So do I ask them to help me say,
You can. Help desk always helps with all these things. You can totally ask them. There's also online resources how to delete the browser cookies. Like I said, many a times, many apps get restricted because of this issue. So either you can try yourself by finding those online resources and cleaning those cookies, or just go to the help desk. They will help you. You can show them that, I'm trying to open this app. It says this, how can I resolve this? They will be happy to help you.
Miss Ennis, I need to if the best just it's that.
yes, but a lot. Not necessarily, it's like I said, but these are good hits. You don't have the exact series. What it says, the market is actually out to write that the right.
Is teaching some local basically. I don't do it. Teaches that's what it's like.
Yes.
And then to December, you that if all was in my year with some because yes. Okay, so it's only easy. I know it's like
All right. So did you have any questions on NameCoach?
No.
Okay. All right. And then we discussed LibGuides. We also saw that right now the LibGuide is having some issues. Probably the site is down. We tried to integrate in a couple of different LibGuides. It did not work, but I'll show you how the integration can be made. So I'm in the modules area. In modules, if you go to the little plus sign, from here, the default is always assignment, but go to external tools. And here in the external tools, you will select, let me see, LibApps library content. That's the one for all the LibGuides that's available in the AU library. So LibApps library content, once you are in here, select the content type, whichever you want in your course. You can select A to Z databases. You can select whatever fits you. So let's say I want to select specific subject database and database specialist, and then of course your subject. For example, I took American Studies as my subject and then embed content. Once you have embedded the content, click on add item and it gets embedded here. But like I said, we noticed that the overall app is not working. So we need to look into it, but otherwise this is the way the integration is created. And then the last big tool that we discussed was Course Reserve. This is not a new tool, but I was mentioning that many faculty, when they come in, they don't know how to request Course Reserve through Canvas. So that's why I thought of integrating it. You can go to Course Reserve again from your navigation menu. Also a default option already integrated in Canvas. Once you are in there, click on Add Reserve Item. And here you can choose from all these options, article, books, chapter, all of these. You can select on book. And in the book area, you can give the book title, author, publication year, and whether you need it in the first month of the course or not. Once you have filled out this form, click on Submit Item. Once you submit item, the very first time it shows processing. It takes a little while to process. Once it's done, it's available. Thank you. It's available in the Course Reserve of your course. You can ask your students to come to Course Reserve, and then they will find all the resources in one place. And finally, I showed the Smart Search feature. Again, something which is already available in your course. You can go to Smart Search, and in here, you can search your course content with certain keywords. So if you have a content-heavy course, and I was giving an example of history or anthropology, all of those courses have a lot of content, and sometimes it becomes difficult to find the right content. Smart Search makes it easy because it searches through content, pages, announcements, discussions, all of those things. So you can use this feature if you're trying to find something specific. So that's all the tools that we discussed in our session. Any questions so far?